So, yeah, welcome back. Again, if you want to hashtag about the event, it's MCR Thread. And we've got Adam Schwitz with Time and Design. And this is the GitHub site that we've got running. For those of you that did see part one, just come in. There's this repository we've got on GitHub, so you can help contribute to that. So we're going over that in a bit. At the end of the first part as well, basically what I've said is that the second half I'm going to be going over some of the tools that I use and some of the things that I use that help me sort of stay in touch with what's sort of going on. It's just moving so quick and there's so much that we need to sort of keep on top of now within front-end development. So I mentioned Nicholas Gallagher. Oops, sorry, one second. So this is GitHub. As many people of you on Git or GitHub at all? Just have a show of hands. Oh, cool, loads of you. Smash it. So, yeah, one of the things that I like to do on GitHub is you've got the RSS feed there. So, I use this thing called Vienna. So, I'm just trying to bring up Vienna on that screen. Okay, so if you copy Nicholas Gallagher's RSS feed and then you put it into an RSS feeder, you can, I use this, like I say, Vienna, and this basically shows us what Nicholas has been up to, so all the different commits he's been doing. So it's a really good way to sort of keep on top of what's going on and just see what sort of commits are being done, what people are doing with code and why they're doing it, and it's really helpful for things like with the commit notes. So what you can do is read why they did something, and then you can go and check out the code. So then you can obviously have a play about with that code. So it's all different things there you can see that it's been up to. And that's his GitHub page there. And yeah, so if you just click that, copy the link address, and then you can paste that into Vienna. Again, for those of you that didn't catch the first half, this is the first presentation that I've done, so I'm not used to all this slide presentation stuff and big projectors, so hopefully I'll get back better at that. Let's time go. If I can find my cursor. There it is. Okay, so GitHub is often referred to as like the Wikipedia for code. For those of you that aren't familiar with GitHub, you can submit code to it, and then other people can sort of have a look at your code, and it can do what's called a fork, which is take your code and then maybe add to it, and then do something called a pull request. So then people can, say if I've got what's called a repository, which is like my project, someone can take a copy of that, think, oh, there's something that could be done a bit better on that, send me a pull request, and I can have a look at it and go, oh, that's really cool, and then pull that in. Then anyone else that's following that repository or project can then take advantage of that code that's coming. So one of the great things that I love on GitHub is the HTML5 boilerplate. So has anyone used the HTML5 boilerplate? Cool. So it's really cool looking at the commit notes as well. So I've got the link there to the first commit in Paul Irish, which was like 3 years ago. And if you keep on top of all the commits, or got some spare time, to go back and have a look at some of the commits, and it's really interesting some of the discussions that have gone on and why certain things have changed and how the project's evolved. It's really, really interesting, or at least I find it interesting anyway. So yeah, and again, like do the same thing with Vienna, so I copy the RSS link and just keep on top of anything that's happening within the HTML5 boilerplate. So there's a few, one of the repositories that I run on mine is with Chrome DevTools. Again, just have a quick show of hands who's using Chrome DevTools. Cool. Do you know you can theme it at all? Nope. So what you can do is, I'll bring this up here. So yeah, let's just bring up Chrome DevTools. So probably on your machines it'll be white. So I can't remember the blog post, I'll stick the link up for it, but someone wrote about like inception, so you can actually like inspect the Chrome DevTools, and through doing that you can find out how to change all the colours and styles for it. So I basically found out how to do that, and I'm a big fan of the Monokai theme. Like I'm looking at code all day long, I don't want to be looking at a glaring white screen for black. I just find it a lot easier on the eyes. And also with the like the yellow, green, blue and pink. It's just really easy to sort of figure out which bits of code's where. So if I go to that there, so basically that's just run from a CSS file. So that code is now on a repository on GitHub, and people can see that. So what I did is, if you go to the top here, you can see people that have bought your project. So it's people that have taken my code and brought it along to their own sort of user on GitHub. So those are all the people that have bought the project. So it's nice there. Andy Osmani works for Google, so it's nice to know that he's checking it out. It'd be nice to give me any feedback if he's watching this. It'd be cool. So from that, I opened up all these different forks, and then again just pulled the RSS feeds, because I was thinking, oh, that's cool. Like, why someone forks my project and then does something really cool with it? So this guy, James Doyle, I noticed my Vienna flagged up. Someone's done something on your Monokai thing. So I got in contact with him and said, oh, what are you up to here? And I pulled his code up and had a look at it. And I don't use all of the Chrome DevTools. There's so much that you can do with it. And he was using something that was a bit different that I'd sort of missed. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I got in contact with him. He sent a pull request over, so checked over the code, and that was cool. And then I came into that main repository. So just GitHub's just like absolutely awesome for that. And it's just, it doesn't have to be anything just for like code either. There's just so much you can do with it. There's gists as well, like my little code snippets, and just definitely go and check out GitHub. So that's that. Shortcuts. So I absolutely love shortcuts. Nicholas Sakas has done this really good presentation about accessibility. Now Nicholas Sakas, he just uses a keyboard, so he goes into some of like the pain points of, like when you just need to use a keyboard and you don't have the mouse. But even if you can use a mouse and keyboard, then there's just so much things you can take advantage of with using keyboard shortcuts. So for example, like if my mouse is all the way down here, rather than having to scroll all the way up and click in here, you can just do Command L and get to it, and then there's like Command T, so you can set new tabs. When W goes that down, you can do Command Shift T, which will hopefully come up in a sec. Sorry. Type in. So if you close it down and then you want to reopen it, you can do Shift Command T to bring it back up. So there's just loads and loads of shortcuts in all different applications, so I really recommend just checking out shortcuts. I mean, many people use Photoshop as well as doing the code. So if you've used Photoshop, you probably see the toolbar on the left. Does anyone use that? Yeah, you don't need to. Just close it down and use shortcuts. It saves you loads of time. So I recommend checking out Nicholas's slides as well. So Total Finder. Is there anyone that uses a PC? Windows? Okay, well, you might not find this that good, but I'm sure there's applications and things like that try to be as good as things like this. So let me try and find a window up here. So if you open up a new window, generally like general behaviour is you'll end up with like all these different windows all over the place. So Total Finder allows you to use like very similar to sort of Chrome with the tabbing system. Again, you can use the same sort of shortcuts to go through tabs and stuff like that. So that's really cool. I think you can even do the reopen of a tab, which is just fantastic. So that's really cool. That's something that like a feature request to put in, and you just did it. So thanks a lot for that. That's really cool. Also, another thing, I'll be going over this in a bit, but there's things you can use called dot files, which you can do an awful lot with. And there's a command for shortcut, which is Command Shift Dot, and then that will show you all the dot files there, or basically any hidden file on your Mac. So it's really cool to just have these little quick shortcuts just to get to the things that you need to get to. Yep, so that's Total Finder. Quicksilver, does anyone use this? Wrong, that's because I installed it on his machine. So Quicksilver, basically the default shortcut for that is Command and Space, but I use that to zoom in Photoshop. But I've changed it to Alt Space. So you basically click Alt Space and you get this little dialog box that comes up, and it learns which applications that you need to go to. So say if you've got like 10 or 20 applications, you could use Command and Shift to toggle through, but sometimes it's quite laborious to get some to ones that you're using not frequently. So you type Alt Space and then start typing in the application you want to use. So for example, if you start typing in Photoshop, I can literally just type P, and it knows, because I use Photoshop quite a lot, that's the application that I'm after. Again, F is Finder, S will bring up Sublime Text 2. So it's a really, really quick way to just get to different applications that you're after. There's all sorts of other things you can do with it as well. There's a folder that I put like on client work and things like that. So I've dragged that over to the settings within Quicksilver as well. So it also looks within that. So I can type in client names and it'll bring up the folder as well, straight in Finder, which I find really helpful. So that's Quicksilver, awesome, and free as well. Spectacle, this is one that I've started using more recently. See if it'll work here. Yeah, so you can use shortcuts to basically put it left or right, which is obviously really good if you've got, you know, like your site on one side and then your code on the other side, so you can, you know, code in them. You could use something like Live Reload, people use that. So, okay, I've got to add that in, but I'll mention that in maybe the next one. Because that's really cool. So, and again, like, I think if you tend to click this, see, it always frustrates me this. It's like, why has it not gone to the full width? But with Spectacle, I've set a shortcut up so you can get it nice full width and full height as well. So those are the shortcuts that I've set up, but the original, so there's other shortcuts as well that you can set up, and you can do all manner of different things with Spectacle. Again, it's free, and that's really cool. So, got a quick apology to make. Mike Little, who's the co-founder of WordPress, he's given a talk at the Manchester WordPress user group. So I'm sorry that those clashed tonight, but going forward I'll make sure that those don't clash. For one might go along to them. I went to the last one, it was great. Really nice guy. So, people use WordPress. So, yeah, anyone use Octopress? No one. Right, well, Octopress is absolutely fantastic. It would take me quite a long time to go over it. It's quite in depth, but I'll briefly go into some of the great things you can do with it. So, has anyone dealt with a WordPress database before? I had to pull in on WordPress, yeah, you know the pain, yeah? So, a lot of people with WordPress, when they first get WordPress, if they're not familiar with how it works, stuff like that, they'll add about 50 plugins, and it can just, you create this, and again, let's just go back a bit. Going back to when I first started in web design, I wasn't really sure what like a database was, or know of its existence. So, those of you who aren't familiar, basically a database is just like this massive big file of all this data which can populate a website. So over time, if you've got a WordPress build that's like, let's say 5 years old, the database can get just full of all sorts of crap. So Octopress is really cool in that it doesn't have a database, and it's all run through GitHub, and it uses something called Markdown, which I'll go into in a minute, which is like really, really quick for authoring. And then you can do basically like a deploy. So you can test everything on your local machine, check everything's okay, do a rake deploy to terminal, which I'll be going into, and then it will send all the files to GitHub, and then you can see the site which I have now up and running. There it is. So that's an Octopress site, and that's all generated via Markdown code. So, Markdown, let's show you some Markdown. Does anyone use Markdown before? A few of you. It's awesome, right? That's not what I want to do. So, this application is pretty cool. It's called MOU, which is pronounced M-O-U. So, just to give you a few examples. So, if you're going to do a link in HTML, type this out, and you you close it, then you have to type it out again. And then you close that A tag. So, yeah, that looks okay. Put in Markdown, just do that. This application will show you what it's actually doing there. Oops. Yeah. So obviously there's a lot less for you to write there. Let's do an image. So you've got image, then we've got to do source of the image, then let's go for place kittens, right? So, whoops. Get there eventually. Need an alt tag as well, let's stick one of them in. And then close that off. So, an image. Let's try and remember this. So, alt tag, meow, and the link. There you go, so we've got the same thing, just having to write less code. It's also really cool, Markdown, because if you're looking at it in its raw code as well, it's just really easy to look at and to find different things. So, right, rather than looking at all this with all these image tags, just looking at just this, it's obviously a lot easier to just process and see what's going on. And it's just really awesome. There's so much more you can do as well with Markdown. It's just so little code that you have to write. And the beauty of it is when you're using something like Octopress, is that all your files are just in Markdown, and it just pushes it through, and it's static HTML, so you don't even have to worry about it, it just automatically does it for you. So that's fantastic. Emmet used to be called Zen Coding. Does anyone use this? Yeah, cool, good. I've just started using it. I'm not going to go into an example because I tried this the other day and it didn't work. So just trust me, it's awesome and you can do loads of stuff with it. There's Sublime Text 2. Oh yeah, sorry. Let's go into Sass and Less first. Anyone use Sass and Less? Cool, loads of you. So again, I'm not really sure what sort of everyone's skill sets are and skill bases. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to get out of this first Manchester Fred, is to sort of see where everyone's up to. And it'd be really cool at the end if you do fill out this Google form that I'm going to put up, just so I can see if I need to go into more detail into one thing, or if I've gone into detail too much in one thing. So Sass and Less, yeah, is really cool. Just give you a quick example of that. So this is the source code for the fredup.github.com site. So if you was to create a fork of that, you could get this code on your machine, and if you wanted to, we're using hex codes, you can also use like HSLA and other different types. But also it's not very easy to remember these strings of code for a colour. So like red is like F00, but obviously if you want to try and remember all of those, it's pretty hard and there's just so much to remember. So what you can do is set like a variable, which we've done here. So at any point we can just, rather than specifying this later on, we can just specify what colour we want it to be here. The beauty of this as well is that you can then just change this and it will change throughout the rest of the code as well. So what Less and Sass allow you to do is pre-process it. So you write this, which is this is a Sass file, or you can use Less as well, and then it will output that into a CSS file and change everything for you. So all work. So that's really cool. Also, I'm not sure if this is a shortcut I've installed, so a package that I've installed, or if it's just built into Sublime Text 2. But if you do Control-Alt-Enter, that's what you can. I'm not sure you can see that there. But basically, you can start doing your Zen coding in there. I know I said I wouldn't do any, but I'll give it a go. There you go. That's a very simple example there. So you can type it all in at the bottom there, and you can see what it's outputting at the top. So again, just really nice way and fast way to author code. Okay, and also just going into the theme there that I'm using. Again, like I mentioned that I like the Monokai theme that I use within Chrome DevTools. So Jake is there tonight. Thanks for sending me the link to Phoenix one. So basically what I've done is Phoenix basically deals more with the UI, so like all the sidebar stylings and things like that. And Monokai is its own section, so I sort of fused those together. And again, that's on my GitHub page if you want to have a play about that. The Monokai Phoenix theme, which I called it. So it's basically just making all this as well dark as well. So I'm really happy with sort of setup that I've got for Sublime Text 2. Again, there's like a billion different shortcuts for Sublime Text 2, and you can set your own as well. So it's just awesome, Sublime Text 2, definitely recommend it. Okay, so terminal, who uses terminal? Who's scared of terminal? Okay. Yeah, again, like, if you've not used it, this might be a bit like, whoa, what's going on here? But I'd definitely recommend, if front-end web developers should get into terminal. It's just so powerful, there's so much you can do with it. And again, like I can't keep going on about this, but if you can fill in something on Google Forms, if there is something that you want to learn, you know, let's just get together and do it. So terminal might be something that we go into, you know, just as a Manchester thread by itself, because there's just so much you can do with it. Also, with terminal, I find that I've sort of got it to a place where I'm sort of happy with it, but I'm not really sure how I got it to that end point. I have wrote a blog article on it. But it was very much a process of trial and error and sort of trying things. And I'd love it if, like, there's Matthias, Cindersaurus, there's all these other people that use doc files, and it'd be cool if someone who knew what the fuck he was doing could just do a screencast, because I don't know how I managed to get it to where I did, to be honest, so I'm going to find it hard sort of teaching how I got it to that stage. But I can show you some of the things that I've managed to get up and running. So, Reaper-Z is something similar to Quicksilver almost within Terminal. So a lot of, in Terminal, a lot of things you need to do is go to different directories to do different things, and to type out like that whole directory is just going to take ages. So what Reaper-Z does is it sort of learns what directories that you go into, I think using this thing called like frequency. So now if I type Z space and then start typing thread and then enter, it will go to the directory where I've got my threadup.github.com repository held. So just to save you having to type out the whole thing in, you can just quickly get to directories that you need to. So that's Reaper-Z. OhmyZSH, I know it's good, but I cannot remember why, and I don't exactly know which bit of it is, because when I started working with Terminal, I just threw all these things into it, so I'm not really sure which bits, you know, I could just stand alone there in Terminal, which bits of code relate to which bits of doc files that I've configured. So, sorry about that. Homebrew is like an install package, so it makes it really easy to install things via the terminal. So that's cool. And doc files. Doc files, what I showed briefly before. So there's a link to, again, I host my doc files on GitHub, so you can check out the doc files there, pull them in. So doc files are so called because they have a dot at the start of the file. I don't know why, but it just took me a little while to sort of grasp that. So, just open that. Git config one. So this is a dot file, which is my git config file. So this is what I use to help me with aliases on Git and GitHub. So ordinarily, to do like a push, you'd have to write git and then push. So just set up all these little things here, so I can just do I've changed it so Git is just G and push there is P, so I can just do G space P and it will push my code, or want to do a pull, you've got up there. And then generally every time I want to do a commit, you use this as well, which will do a message. So I always, every time I commit, I write a message with it. So rather than having to type this out every time, I can just do G space, C space, and then a commit message as well. So yeah, I think it is a bit daunting, you know, when you're first trying to get into it. But once you've, you know, gone through that initial pain barrier, just learning it, you can just do so many things so quickly with it. So last night I did a blog post about the Manchester Fred event, and that's a bit weird. No. Okay, I'll just quickly talk you through some of the stuff that I did. So this is where my Simon Wing Design repository is held. Again, this is using Octopress. So I did a git pull. So I had all my files locally. I'm checking to see whether anything got authored on GitHub just to make sure that I'm up to date. So I did that. Then I did what's called a rake generate. So that's generating all the markdown, transforming that to HTML, static HTML, so you can view the site. And then I've not done it there, but what you can do is a rake preview, and then you can view the site via localhost on port 4000. So then you can check everything, make sure everything's okay locally before you're going to push it to GitHub and push it to the live site. So that's really cool, and again, really easy to do. It's just knowing the right commands to do. And again, like setting up aliases, you can make it so it's more tailored to how you interpret it to be. So then I've done git add, so I've added the files, and then after you've added the files, you commit those. So I just wrote the commit message there. So in this instance, in my Octopress file, the markdown, I put an exclamation mark in the title, and when I pushed it and deployed it, it wasn't showing. So I think that the cause of that was this exclamation mark, so I took that out and it worked again. So I put the commit message that I was removing the exclamation mark. Then I did a git push, so I'm then pushing all that code to GitHub, and then just do a rake deploy. And that rake deploy will take all that code, put it to GitHub, and just be launched. It's just fantastic. It's just so quick. So that's some of the sort of stuff you can do within the terminal. And again, like I'll be putting all these slides up online. So these are some of the commands that I use that I find helpful. So that's it. So thanks a lot for coming to this first Manchester Fred. If you want to talk about the event on Twitter using the hashtag MCRFred, and any feedback would be great. And if you'd like to, going forward, if you'd like to help me out and speak, or if there's anything that you feel that we need to talk about as front-end developers, or if you could help out with fredup.github, or if you want to contribute but you're not quite sure how to do something, just get in contact with me. I can try and help you out where I can. Yeah, thanks again to all these guys, and thanks a lot for coming. I'll put up a link on Twitter as well for the Google Forms, and if you could, just help me out and just submit something on that, and that'd be brilliant. So thanks a lot. Cheers.